Picture this. It's November 18th, 2025, and suddenly, a huge chunk of the internet just blinks out of existence. For millions of us, it felt like someone just hit the off switch on the digital world. I mean, think about it. From the tools you use to get your job done to the apps you use to unwind at night, a whole suite of them were just gone. All at the same time. People were completely cut off, trying to figure out what in the world was happening. You had students scrambling to finish papers, developers staring at blank screens. ChatGPT, the world's go-to AI assistant, went completely radio silent. No answers, no help, nothing. And then there was X, the place everyone goes to see what's happening right now. Well, it turned into a digital ghost town. The feed just stopped. It wasn't just about communication and AI either. We're talking about the very tools of creativity and commerce. Canva, for all your design needs, down. And PayPal, you couldn't send or receive a dime. The digital economy was grinding to a halt. And if you were hoping to just escape into some online gaming, well, no luck there either. Even mecha titles like League of Legends and Valorant were hit hard, kicking players out of their games left and right. Okay, so at this point, it's pretty obvious. This is no coincidence, right? All these completely different services, all down at the exact same time. And then the big clue dropped. As people frantically refreshed their pages, they all started seeing the exact same weird cryptic message. And this message, this was everything. It told us this wasn't some random hack, and it definitely wasn't your Wi-Fi acting up. No. This was something much, much bigger. It was like a distress flare being shot up from the very foundations of the internet. So, that brings us to the billion-dollar question. What on earth is Cloudflare? Because believe it or not, that one name is the key to unlocking this entire mystery. The easiest way to think about it is this. Cloudflare isn't a website you actually visit. It's more like a super high-tech bouncer and a traffic cop for a giant portion of the internet. It stands between you and the websites you use every single day. You know, there's this great quote from a cybersecurity expert who calls it the biggest company you've never heard of. And that just nails it, doesn't it? It's absolutely essential to the way the modern web works, but it's designed to be invisible, operating silently in the background until, of course, it breaks. So let me just quickly break down how this is supposed to work. When you type in, say, ChatGPT's address, your computer doesn't actually go straight there. First, it makes a pit stop at Cloudflare. That's the gatekeeper. Cloudflare checks you out, makes sure you're not a malicious bot, speeds everything up, and then it passes you along. You get to the site faster and way more securely. And really, that's its whole job. It does all the heavy lifting. It's the security guard, stopping cyber attacks. It's the traffic manager, making sure a site doesn't crash if it suddenly goes viral. It's even the delivery service that helps pages load in a flash. All of this means companies like OpenAI don't have to build that insane, complicated infrastructure themselves. They just plug into Cloudflare. All right, so now we get what Cloudflare is supposed to do. So what actually went wrong on that day? Let's dive into the anatomy of this digital meltdown. Things went south, and they went south fast. It all kicked off around 6 a.m. Eastern Time, when people first started noticing things were broken. By late morning, Cloudflare's own systems were blaring alarms. They detected what they called an abnormal traffic spike, basically a massive, unexpected tidal wave of data slammed into one of their services. A fix was rolling out just after noon, but the damage was already done. And this is the most important thing to get your head around. The websites themselves, ChatGPT, X, Canva, they weren't actually down. Their servers were humming along just fine in the background. The problem was that the front door was locked. The gatekeeper, Cloudflare, had a problem with its gate, and it got jammed shut. So even though the party was still going on inside, nobody could get in. But here's where the story gets even more interesting, and maybe a little bit unsettling. You see, not everything broke, and the things that stayed online tell us a ton about the internet's invisible pillars. Just think about it for a second. Did you notice Google's search going down that day? Probably not. What about its AI, Gemini? It worked perfectly, without a single hiccup. So why? If a huge part of the internet's infrastructure was having a meltdown, how did these massive services stay online without a scratch? Well, it really boils down to a tale of two different internets. On one side, you have services like ChatGPT and X. They essentially rent their security and their speed from Cloudflare. But on the other side, you have the giants, the Googles of the world. They don't rent. They own. For decades, they've spent billions building their own private global network. They don't need a gatekeeper because they built the entire fortress themselves. So what this all means is that our idea of the internet as this sprawling, decentralized web, it's kind of an illusion. In reality, huge parts of it are propped up by just a handful of these invisible pillars, like Cloudflare or Amazon Web Services. All that speed and convenience we take for granted, it comes with a hidden risk: centralization. Look, this whole outage was a massive wake-up call. It was way more than just a bad day online. It was a powerful reminder of how fragile this whole system can be. We've put an incredible amount of trust in a tiny number of companies to literally hold up our digital world. And it leaves us with a really big and honestly kind of scary question. Are we really prepared for the day one of these pillars doesn't just shake, but actually falls?
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.